Since the idea of robots has popped up, one of the biggest questions of humankind is probably whether those robots will replace all of us in the future. And that's why in today's episode, we're going to discuss whether mobile robots will replace people in logistics.
Automation Awakenings, your weekly dose of best practices for logistics automation.
Welcome to the 31st episode of the Automation Awakenings podcast. And I welcome you and I welcome Matthias, who is with me here in our studio.
Thanks, Olli.
Yeah, welcome. And today we're going to dive into a philosophical topic. We will think about the future of logistics and we will discuss the question if there will be still people in our warehouses and on the shop floor, or how this could look like. And what is for me very interesting in that question, is this vision really feasible? And is it really our desired target of this whole automation thing, right? So what do you think about these thoughts, Matthias?
Yeah, I'm going to jump in straight away into the topic of thinking big. In our previous episodes, we've always been highlighting that you as a logistics engineer, as a facility manager of a logistics entity, you need to have this big picture to know where to go. I think in the last episode, or one of the last episodes, I talked about climbing a hill, like a peak.
Yeah, I still remember.
And this is exactly where we have to draw the line. Like, can we envision this future? Can we realize it? And also, do we really want to do it? So, I mean, to stay with the hiking part, you can climb onto Mount Everest, but maybe it's enough to just, take another summit somewhere in the Alps that is way less dangerous and simply easier accessible. So I'm looking forward to this discussion. And I think in the beginning, we should maybe define whether we just want to talk about mobile robots or whether we talk about all kind of robots that we envision in the future of logistics.
My idea is to open up the discussion today. As we said, it's going to be philosophical. And to be philosophical and think about the future, I think we should not limit ourselves to mobile robots, but extend it to automation in general. Only then we can answer this question properly in our short podcast, at least, or at least give a little idea and inspiration to answer the question.
All right. And this is all our personal vision, so to say. So we are, of course, happy to get your views on it as well, your perception. Otherwise, let's take a look. What do we have? So we have mobile robots, yes. We have probably drones, yes. Humanoids, big buzz topic at the moment, buzzword at the moment, yes. Is there anything else we have in the portfolio, so to say, Olli?
Yeah, well, on the hardware side, I think these are the main topics which are running today or in the near future. Then, of course, there are a lot of discussions regarding software. Also, in our latest podcast episodes, we talked about the intralogistics operating system.
Correct.
To close all gaps in terms of software, to have this one holistic view on all our devices inside our warehouse. So this is, it's a good starting point, maybe, because this is what we know already today. So basically, we imagine to have this system available, the optimal configuration, setup, and mix of devices in the warehouse. So basically, everything is automated. All transports are done in an automated way. and we can finally switch off the lights in our warehouse and work in a dark environment.
The so-called dark logistics,
Yes.
the true north of logistics engineering, basically.
Yeah, and it sounds already like something dangerous, right? The dark logistics.
Yeah. Yeah, dark is probably not made for humans. I mean, at least I wouldn't like to work in a dark place. Maybe some do, I don't. And that's why maybe let's go step by step for different logistics processes or categories that we have in a logistics facility or in a manufacturing facility to see whether these technologies can already cover it. And maybe before we do this, let's also define a time frame that we want to use to answer this question. So are we talking about in 5 years, in 15 years, or in 500 years?
Yeah, my first idea would be to take the year 2030.
Okay.
Because it's not so close, but close enough that we can make some assumptions and forecast. I think we need a extra episode on like the very far away vision.
Yeah.
This will be super philosophic. If we stay with 2030, we might be right.
Okay, then let's roll the dices and let's go through the processes. So first of all, we always have a goods intake. Doesn't matter if it's a warehouse or a manufacturing plant. So how do you envision that, Ollie? So we have a lorry which arrives there, needs to be unloaded, and then there is some kind of goods receipt process. Can this be, or do you envision this to be hands-free, human-free?
I like that you are seeing the future in the United Kingdom with lorries that are arriving. But okay, let's stay in the UK. That's fine. So I think we all agree that there will be an inbound process.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what, but in the year 2030, you will still receive components
Yeah.
with a truck.
Maybe with a drone, whatever, right?
Yeah.
With whatever mean.
But anyway, this device needs to be unloaded.
Yeah.
And there will be still pallets. I'm also pretty sure.
Yeah.
So you need to unload pallets from, I think we can assume there's still a truck
Yeah.
arriving in our facility. I mean, it's only 6 years
Yeah.
to 2030.
Yeah.
And this is already an interesting point. As you know, we talked a lot about truck unloading. And my personal opinion is that even till the year 2030, there will be no fully automated truck unloading available. Now, many people will be disappointed or will disagree. But if I'm seeing the trucks, how they look like today, with their pallets and special safety features, and we talked about it.
Yeah.
The human operator on a forklift will always be faster than any automation. So already here, I'm sorry, automation will not replace the human for the truck unloading.
Yeah.
So no dark logistics there. We need some lights and a person to download it or unload it.
Yeah, I agree. I go with this opinion, which I know very well because it's one of your mantras. I would make an exception when it comes to cases where everything is super highly standardized, right? So you have just imagine you have cartons loaded into like a container, and all of them look alike, and all of them are perfectly in shape. Could also be a trailer or something. I think here there is a possibility that maybe it's going to be automated, but I agree that we won't have this for each and every unloading. So there's just too much stuff that can happen on the road, too much also security, loading security that you need to do. And all of this is a big obstacle. So check.
Yeah, let's say another exception are highly standardized goods, as you said. Yeah, single boxes or something like that that can be handled by a robot for sure until then, and standardized pallets which are like unloaded in one step.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already have these technologies available. Mm, if you have these relations with the supplier where always a full truck arrives,
Yeah.
you can unload it just by pushing all of them into your inbound area. This will come true for sure because these technologies will get cheaper
Yeah.
in the next years. So let's say partly dark.
Okay. Cool. What happens next? It's probably delivered to some kind of storage location, right? Could be a warehouse, like a buffer, or like a plant warehouse, for example, or it's just sitting in some buffer area to be transported directly to the point of use.
Exactly, very good question. We can discuss this in a very controversial way, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
The optimal logistics path would be to, of course, not have this buffer.
Mm-hmm.
And until COVID, everyone was working towards this super lean process, ship to line,
Yeah.
a big buzzword. And after COVID, everyone started building warehouses again.
Mm.
So now you need to decide, right? The perfect logistic way would be, of course,
Yeah.
to ship everything out of this truck
Yeah.
to the line with some robots.
Yeah. I think when we talk about, let's assume the lean way, okay? So you have some kind of like handover area where all of these pallets are sitting that need to be transported to the production line. Could be also other load carriers, of course. And if they are not stacked, I guess this is very easy to be automated. So, again here it's a lot about standardization of those load carriers, of the shape in which they arrive, and also whether they are basically stacked over each other in this buffer area, which as per today is still a quite big hurdle for robots, right, Ollie?
Absolutely, it's a big challenge. I think we can overcome this challenge in the next years. So in the year 2030, this should be possible.
Yeah.
From my point of view. So I would checkmark this area as almost black.
Almost
So
black.
almost fully automated.
Okay. And how about the this other type of process where we bring the goods into some kind of warehouse first before we consume them and bring them to the line?
Black.
Totally black?
Fully automated, I would say. Or we are talking about pallets.
Yeah,
or everything.
I don't know. Could be anything. Huh?
I would say we will have the pallet warehousing done in a completely automated way. Box warehousing as well, like we have it today already. But the transfer of boxes from a pallet to this warehouse is still tricky. And I think we will be still at the first experiments of having robots or cobots doing this job.
So you mean there is a pallet which arrives where you have like 52 boxes like strapped on the pallet, and the pallet needs to be opened, and then box by box these boxes need to be put away in some kind of automatic warehouse. Could be an auto store, for example, right?
Yeah.
And this is what you see as critical.
Yes. This depalletizing and put away will be done partly fully automated.
Yeah.
But you need to detach the cover. You need to detach all additional packaging, straps, foil.
Yeah.
This is very challenging for a robot. I don't see it in the year 2030. After that, as soon as the pallet is standardized in a standardized way available, sure, I don't see a problem that the cobot picks up boxes and puts them inside these bigger auto store boxes or on a conveyor system.
Okay.
We are pretty close to having this already now in a stable way.
Understood. What comes to my mind still also before the put away in the warehouse is repacking. I know as a fact this is still a big pain for many of our customers, and it's basically due to missing standardization with the suppliers. So the supplier would send the components in packages or packaging that is not suitable or not compliant with what you use to put it into your warehouse. So there's guys there simply repacking stuff from a carton into a plastic box, for example.
Very tricky.
I think this is a real problem.
Yes.
This could be a real problem, the whole repacking topic.
A robot could help, but it will not take over this task,
Okay,
I would say.
good. So we still have humans doing this.
Yes, I mean, what is also important, we need to think about new jobs or how the operator jobs will be changed.
Yeah.
And one thing which will be changed for sure is, let's say, the share of the tasks. I see a very big shift going towards exception handling. Yeah. So everything what is standardized.
Yeah.
Standardized pallet, correct labels, standardized packaging will be done but by some cool and smart robots.
Yeah.
All the exceptions,
Yeah.
wrong labels, strange packaging, let's call it like that. There will be some special area in your warehouse where a person needs to go and check
Yeah.
what is this,
What is
what
this all
happened.
about?
What it's all about, what happened here. This will be not done by a robot.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. This is tough. This is even tough today, so it won't
Yes.
get any easier. So yeah, totally still a process with a lot of light needed.
Absolutely, and this will stay.
Okay, cool. That's already a golden bullet, a golden idea here. So really seeing it from this perspective. But now, well, we have the goods sitting in the warehouse. They are ordered from some kind of entity, some kind of point of use in your facility. What's next?
Yes, I see the major change.
Picking process, basically.
Yeah, here I see the major change in the silo thinking of logistics and manufacturing. We see that this vanishes already,
Yeah.
and we are rather talking about a supply chain until the production area, assembly line, and so on. So I see that these components in boxes are being transferred in the future or transported in the future without any further buffer areas, like storages close to the point of use on the floor or in a shelf rack and so on, but directly bringing them to the point of use or even inside the point of use
Yeah.
in the machine.
Yeah. Makes sense. Actually, if you come from the Kanban idea, right? It's waste because you have these buffers sitting there, which are basically just they are protecting you against failure, basically, right? Against transport failure or delays, whatever. So if you can cut this out by having the boxes being, or the components being delivered, just when needed and in time, this is of course not going to exist anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the buffers are there because you need a kind of trade-off between the cycle time of the assembly and your logistics operations.
Yeah.
And this leads to buffers. But in the future, there is no cycle time of a milk run because you get everything on demand directly to the point of use. And I think this is feasible until 2030. Also here, maybe not for all production lines, but in general, we have these ideas already today,
Yeah.
and it's possible. And that's actually a cool vision to not have these buffers standing everywhere.
Yeah, but there's one but from my point of view. I think, and this is something you already mentioned, I think we need manufacturing on board with that.
Sure.
Because this concept of not having buffers because stuff is delivered in time basically requires that the ordering of the replacement of the replenishment is done immediately when detected. And what we know from practice is that humans that work in a manufacturing line, they would collect all of their orders and they would scan or trigger their replenishment at the beginning or the end of their shift, which is of course distorting the ordering throughout the day, and which definitely also implies that some orders are already overdue when the trigger is set, right? So this is exactly where I think, and I fully agree to what you say, that manufacturing and logistics need to sit in the same boat when we want to go into this dark logistics inside a manufacturing building, because otherwise it won't work. You will have a lot of exceptions again because stuff is delayed, because stuff is ordered wrong, not in time, whatever. And again, here we're going to need a human to probably bring it very quickly and very specifically, and so on.
You know, Matthias, there's this golden rule of automation.
Tell me.
Robots prefer to work with other robots than with people.
Yeah, I think it's true. Humans are a special kind.
Yes.
Would be the perfect moment now to ask ChatGPT or Gemini on how he sees it. Yeah, maybe we need this Joe Rogan screen, so we can type in stuff and ask and look up stuff directly. But that would be a cool question. Yeah, certainly. And you know why they prefer to work with robots? Because other robots stick to standards and rules.
Yes.
And humans do not always stick to standards and rules because they think they know better. They think they have special rights. They think they need to go and have a smoke, whatever, right? All of this is adding to the complexity of the system.
That's nice. So for a robot, a person just brings in complexity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If you boil it down, this is probably one of the major sentences, the major takeaways from this episode. So let's have a look at one last process. So we have the production line. It's also supplied in darkness, let's say, fully automatic. If the ordering is fully automatic and the all of these cycle times are well established and well calculated, so we have no exceptions. How about the goods out process, like the shipping process? So we have this finished goods in the end, of course, that drop from the line, and how are they handled?
Yeah, I think also here we are touching lean questions.
Yeah.
Is there a finished goods buffer zone?
Yeah.
How is my customer picking up? Yeah. We can also assume again here that this is done in a very lean way.
Yeah.
So the customer picks up basically immediately what I prepared, or I have only a very a small storage space.
Yeah.
All the handling of the finished goods, let's say usually on pallets, can be done automatically. You can pick them up from the line and bring them to your finished goods buffer zone or maybe small warehouse. This is for sure done in a dark way. Also the preparation, so picking from this warehouse for the truck to come, can be done automatically. But now there will be two issues where I see we need still people. Specialized packaging for the customers
Oh yeah.
in terms of, again, the same issues we had on the inbound side.
Yeah.
We now actually produce on the outbound side, and I don't think that we will overcome this problem soon. Special strappings, special labels on all 4 sides, on 2 sides, on top, whatever.
Yeah.
Customers are very creative where they need
Wooden boxes because it's shipped overseas.
yeah,
Whatever.
exactly. And also here we see that there's another border we need to overcome, and not only the border between logistics and manufacturing, but the border between supplier, your facility, and the customer, to finally work in a supply chain, right? To don't add this complexity, these disturbances, which make automation difficult or impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. And loading in the end, still with humans, or is that something we can automate?
Yeah, I think it's like truck unloading, but
Yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah.
I think it's possible partly automated. Also here, if you have partner customers who accept like a full truckload with special add-ons, let's call it like that, so you can unload the complete truck in one shot. This will be possible, or at least maybe easy truck loadings will be possible, where afterwards still a human adds the safety stuff and so on. The truck driver will be still there.
Yeah.
There will be no automated trucks until 2030. So a lot of human labor involved still.
Excellent. So let's wrap it up. We are coming to an end, also time-wise. So
Already?
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yes.
I think we could continue for another 2 hours because it's a great topic and it's very interesting to debate it. But as a summary, I still see from our discussion that we're going to need for sure humans in the goods receipt, unloading, goods intake, exception handling, repacking. Then the put away and the picking from warehouses. This is going to be probably fully automatic, same as the transfer from certain buffer areas to the production line. The transport within the production line also dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that manufacturing is, joining the game and sticking to standards and rules. And then finally, again, in the shipping area, in the shipping process, we still again see some humans, especially loading and packaging.
Yes, totally agree. And we see that we should make an episode only regarding how these jobs will change. Now we talked what can be automated and what not.
True.
We mentioned a little bit that some jobs will shift, or the focus will shift, but there will be also jobs created newly. Completely,
Totally.
I think this needs a further episode. The topic is too big. But let's conclude today with the summary.
Yeah, so I think the summary is, for the time being, we don't have to fear too much in that,
for sure
with
not.
that respect, or in that respect. We're still going to need humans for sure, also in logistics, in physical logistics. And these jobs will change for sure when it comes to the profile. So maybe they're going to be more interesting, more diverse in terms of tasks and also, more exciting. But let's wait for this exciting episode that we need to record. I'm fully agreeing with you, Ollie, here. And for today, we're happy that you guys tuned in. See you back next Monday. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss out on all of these really important topics for the future of logistics.
See you.
Goodbye.
This was another episode of the Automation Awakenings podcast. Visit us at automation-awakenings.com.